I already started the recording, so
Send your songs, the 2 songs.
my songs.
Take a listen. Yeah.
I definitely remembered to get songs.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
It's fine. It's
like
stop.
Hi,
Okay.
Adrin, can you prepare the script? Okay. And then on the day we're like, Adrin, did you prepare that script? No, fam. And then I write it on the day.
It's fine. I got it. I gotta work. Don't worry.
Good.
I got 2 songs. Pretty good.
Yeah, like your recommendations, right? Your top, like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
The top. This is your top. Two
These
of the
these
same guy.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good. That's why. Well, they're not the same guy. So basically, Kygo, he just
Yeah, but this is your top picks.
yeah, I would know. These 2 songs are a great throwback because I used to listen to it back in 2015, and I don't know what or why, but I decided to just put it back on. Of 2015, yes.
No, of like part of your all-time list.
Yeah. It surely would be. I mean, of course, it's my all-time list. There's a huge it's a huge playlist, I would say. But this is
you put this in like the front contenders, like
it would be in the top 10.
okay, I'll listen to it then. You listen to mine then, yeah.
All right, I'll listen to yours.
Wait, you can hear it.
I can hear yours. Might have to do something about that, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe mute yourself first, so we can.
No.
All right, I've listened to most of it.
Okay, lit.
It's pretty good.
We can start then, I guess.
Yeah, surely.
Just I don't know, pause the stuff and then. So today we're gonna be doing. I don't know what we'll call this podcast for now. It's just, just podcast. We'll figure out what to call it later. I'm Kevin, otherwise known as Seneca, and then this is. You can go introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, my name is Adrin. I've never done a podcast before, so this is pretty interesting. But this is our first podcast. We don't just like Kevin said, we have no idea what this is going to be called. We don't know what's going to be the future of this, but we're just doing what we think is good.
Want,
yeah.
Basically. I mean, so I've got a list of. I basically got an agenda down because you don't prepare things, do you? So I'm gonna be.
Yeah. So yeah. Kevin's the preparation guy. Yeah.
So first up is our life and news segment. Speaking of news, very recently, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we just got the news like that IB's been cancelled. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I have a lot of mixed opinions. I mean, for our listeners, if you're not really sure, the IB is the International Baccalaureate, which is like a course that you take for pre-university.
So it's like AP, A levels, whatever. It's
yeah. So basically, that's you finish these 2 years of this course, then you graduate from school, then you go to college, university, whatever. So basically, what happened was, I mean, we've spent 2 years of our lives doing the IB, which is a course, like I said, and because of this current pandemic, COVID-19, I'm sure all of you are very well aware. If you are not, then I'm kind of concerned. But
it's like so self-isolated. They're isolated from the rest of the world.
Yeah, that might just be like us normal people. We're not affected by this self quarantine thing. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So no, I mean, it wasn't something that you'd predict. I mean, like a lot of us say, these are unprecedented times, and the cancellation of this exams. Well, to be honest, in a way, it wasn't unpredictable. It was just unexpected, but it obviously was quite possible, and it did happen.
Everybody knew it was coming, but like we didn't know it was
I mean, we didn't like
we'll be super lucky if it does happen, and then bam, it did happen, and we're like, wait, give me back.
Yeah, let's go back. The go back meme. But the thing is, I mean, even for me right now, it doesn't feel like it's real. You know what I mean? In some things, when things that happen, you know that
So
it's
like a
real.
vibe.
Yeah, but I still can't accept the fact that everything that's been happening so far is what has happened. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it just kind of,
It's a normal thing,
yeah,
it's
I
because
guess.
we sort of just got thrusted into this new situation, and
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the whole idea. I mean, the thing is, no one could have predicted not only the IB cancellation, but this pandemic as well. No one could have known that we'd all be at home with this hashtag stay home or
yeah.
whatever the quarantine thing.
I really wanted to go on that graduation trip to
Oh
Japan.
yeah,
I
I
thought this was
know.
all gonna blow over,
I
and now
know.
we're really like,
I mean, in the
let's
beginning,
go.
in January, February, we were like, I was so convinced that this back then it was just an epidemic. We were like, this thing is gonna blow off soon. It's not gonna be much of an issue, and like we were so convinced, we were still gonna plan our tickets, buy our.
But
Yeah, I mean,
you can't predict. the
we
future.
can't, and actually something that's quite interesting brought me to this. I mean, there's this YouTuber called 3Blue1Brown. I'm pretty sure you know him, Kev.
Yeah.
So basically, he takes the current data that we have regarding the current pandemic, and he extrapolates that data and puts it onto this. He graphs it onto this mathematical
I don't
graph.
think it's an extrapolation. I believe that video was like just like giving us a visual.
Yeah. I mean, he explained by saying first this is the current visualization of the data we have, but then he went in the rest of the video saying, well, this is what technically it would look at if we were to use this current data, and from his data, it looked like in the next month it would have increased by 1 million cases, and to my surprise, that was exactly what happened, because I'm talking about this was like a month or two ago, and back then there were only like around 100,000 cases worldwide, and now the numbers has surpassed 1 million. And I was watching another video. The 17-year-old kid, he was our age. He actually built this website, one of the biggest websites that are tracking the COVID-19 cases worldwide, all the countries. And it was interesting to see how it's actually not that difficult to actually make the website, but he did.
Well, I mean,
the way.
difficult is
I mean, yeah. I would say yes.
Like
Yeah,
dead.
definitely relative, but I mean, the way that he described it was saying that, I mean, it wasn't too hard for me to make it, but I did, and I think the takeaway from there is not about him making the thing, but the thought of making something, using that opportunity, because now we have like 4 or 5 months free time. Free time, it might be quite subjective as well. I wouldn't know what free time is to you. I'm using this time learning on new things. Doing this podcast is something that I've never done before, but we could be doing something really productive using this time. And so that's what this guy has done. And I think what we should focus on now is using this time to mold certain aspects of our lives that we didn't, or we wanted to. Like, those New Year's resolutions we make. We get motivated for like a week, and then we're just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I think this is a great opportunity for that.
What I've been doing, because we have a lot of free time, as you said, is sort of like it's a good time to like sit back and think.
Yeah.
Reflect on things, especially certain emotions that sort of emerge when something sudden like this occurs. What I've been thinking is like, you have this sort of empty feeling that's even more pronounced because the entire thing you've been doing for your life is basically like working from essentially what are 9 to 5 conditions, right? And then because you hate that, right, you spend the rest of your free time doing things that may not be as productive, but you enjoy. So essentially you separate those two things, and because now it's gone, like, and you don't have that thing you don't like anymore, you just tend to do the things that you like. Well, whether or not that's productive is a different thing, and may depend from each person to each person. But essentially what I'm saying is, well, people might actually prefer 9 to 5 jobs and that sort of safety and condition because of the conditioning, via school. That's what I'm thinking. Like this whole system is like, it's actually bringing into light sort of the problems with the system.
Yeah.
Once it's thrown out of the window, things are unknown, lots of free time. You just get this uncomfortable feeling, and people don't like that, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. Yeah. You can go ahead.
I mean, going back to what you said on using this time to reflect on things, I think this is a great opportunity for people, for governments to think about how to approach an issue like this again. Because I think the main difference between this pandemic is that it's now. For instance, SARS back in 2000, not really exactly sure when it was, but it was around 2000 to 2003, if I'm not wrong. Back then, it was a pandemic that was, I'm not going to say much worse, but it was pretty bad. But then again, it wasn't like people weren't bringing this issue to such an extreme. Like people weren't in lockdown, things weren't getting canceled.
I think it's because of sort of it wasn't like as widespread, even though the damage is like.
Yes. I mean, that's what I was gonna go to. The widespread is mainly because of media and social media. See, the increase in, well, everyone using a phone nowadays, the use of internet, it's just increased the capability of someone typing a message and it reaching the other side of the world really quickly. Whether that's true or not, it's still gone there. And the main reason people have been like panicking so much about this at the beginning stages of the COVID-19 was arguably because of falsified informations that were being spread around because of people who didn't know what was going on, but they were like, you know, it's fine just to say COVID-19 is the worst disease in the human history of humankind, and it will wipe out our entire you know what I mean, like these kind of hoaxes.
It's definitely like the sort of hysteria around it is like ridiculous, but I'm saying like compared to other diseases we've seen like Ebola or SARS, this one is like far more infectious. That's what I think I'm talking about.
Yeah, true.
Widespread as opposed to like social media. I mean, that's true. I mean, but I didn't actually know about SARS, you know. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we were like a year or two old, so it's fair enough to say that we weren't aware of it.
Oh yeah. You're right. It is. Yeah. So that's why I don't know it. Yep.
Yeah. So it was SARS, MERS. It was MERS or something. Yeah. So yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. The fact that we didn't know about this is basically helping my point here. I mean, of course, right now it's being compared with SARS and MERS because it's a quite similar in terms of the biology of the virus. So with what we know of the virus so far, it's quite similar. And there's a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna get into this, but like, there's a lot of these people saying like, already these countries have these vaccines or like pre-planned precautions that are made to help like get this issue fixed. Like for instance, Singapore, right now Singapore is one of the safe spots for the COVID-19 because most of the people, I think all, have already been recovered, but I mean they might be suffering a second wave attack. But I mean the thing is, they have that medical care. They have literally their own hospital dedicated to these kind of pandemics because they've been through that experience with SARS or any other disease.
Well, I'm not sure whether they've been through it, but Singapore has always been sort of medically focused. Like if you would choose one place to go for like.
But I mean the thing is, even if like countries such as America, I would say the quality of their healthcare system is not too bad. But the thing about
America, it's like crazy expensive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's expensive, but even with their expense, it doesn't seem like their case is being well handled right now. I mean, the United States is right now suffering a lot.
Perhaps for America. Hello?
Yeah. America.
Perhaps for America, it's like because they're, it's more of like latency, I would say. Not that they're not handling it well. There's a sort of latency period between when it spreads because we're all in Asia, so I think it's sort of like spread a lot quicker. But then because they're in America, I don't know.
No, you do have a point.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. We don't know what exactly information is correct at the moment, what to trust, and especially because like vaccines definitely take a long time to develop.
Yes.
And they say they can actually do it like really fast. What is it, like 6 months to a year, that's like unprecedented. Usually it takes like 3 years or something.
Yeah. No, that's true. I've also seen a lot of sources that claim that a vaccine could be prepared between 6 months to a year. I mean, again, we don't know the accuracy or the what is that word when you describe the
validity.
Yeah, the validity of this information. But I mean, it's something to think about because, of course, right now the only thing that could help us are the vaccines. But then again, like a lot of these, even in Indonesia,
not necessarily the vaccine will help us. It just, well, it will help us, but it'll just help us sort of fight the disease, not necessarily like cure the people who have already.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, I would say it's pretty difficult to get rid of a disease forever, because there are still people out there with Ebola. I mean, how many years has it been? There's still people out there with SARS. You can't completely get rid of a disease because it still tends to exist. We would have taken shots, or we would have gotten a much stronger immunity against that specific virus. So it still exists, and maybe that's the thing here, is that the virus is probably going to stick around for another 3-4 years, maybe even longer than that. But probably what we can do in the next few months or in the next few years is I don't know, build technologies or find some way of getting ourselves used to the virus. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. We don't even know when this is gonna end. Like,
exactly. I mean, we didn't even know it was gonna start. We don't know anything. Yeah.
One thing I've learned from like Plague Inc. especially. Have you played that?
What game?
Plague Inc.
Plague, yes. Yeah.
So the strat was like, you make a thing, you make a disease, and you infect everybody first, and then you focus on the killing later. Well, that actually probably applies to real life. Like, more deadly diseases actually, tend to kill off more people than they infect.
Yeah.
But then less deadlier diseases like this COVID-19, they don't kill a lot of people, but they infect a lot of people, and that's actually a lot of hysteria and where the danger is sort of coming from, because usually the deadly diseases, like, they kill all their patients and they essentially stop spreading, right? That's what you don't want to do when you're playing a game like Plague Inc.
Yeah. Surely not. I mean, that's the thing about COVID-19 is it's such an infectious. It contains an infectious property, which just keeps going on and on. Even if you're cured, it's still out there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's one of the reasons why COVID-19 is one of those diseases that you think once it has decreased, you think it's gonna level off there.
Obviously,
but you're gonna
there. Like, I don't think you sort of said it the way you wanted to, but anyway.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, for instance, in Wuhan a few weeks back, they said, we're open again because all our cases are done. And then there are more. The cases have just increased rapidly again. I mean, a lot of sources claim this as the second wave of the coronavirus, which was by some people predicted a few months ago, saying that this is not going to be like a one-off time. It's not going to be like a one-time thing. It's going to come, it's going to go, and then it's going to come back again. We just don't know how long that's going to be, or what that level of increase, or how long it'll be staying in that level. We don't know anything, because, again, we have data, but just like we can't predict it coming, we can't predict when it goes. Or maybe we can, but you know what I mean, right? There's a lot of things to take care of, a lot of variables to take into account of, which might just take forever to do. So a comparison I've been sort of looking at is like the coronavirus and like panic buying. Everybody's like buying stuff for no reason. And I would say like sort of corona is like somewhat analogous to a stock crash or a decline of a stock value. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So if you take that situation, for example, and assume the price of a stock is falling, people want to panic sell to avoid losing value, Oh no, it's falling, I want to sell it. Since there's more in supply than people want, everyone wants to sell, then the value keeps on decreasing, which incentivizes more people to sell, and the cycle repeats.
Yes.
Corona, that like you see people panic buying and stockpiling unnecessarily. since the stock begins to run out and people fear of not having supply increases, more people will panic by meaning less stock and the and the cycle repeats. Now, if everyone was rational and didn't panic sell in terms of stocks, price wouldn't fall. And if everyone was rational in buying supplies, there would be enough for everyone. But panic and mass hysteria, and we all end up with this irreversible situation.
In economics, there's this, well, one of the main theories says that, well, the only thing that could potentially change trends in the market is humans, because we're, unlike data sets, we're quite unpredictable. And so anything we do, if one person sells, then the likeliness of everyone else selling is just as high. And so that will force the market to crash. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's based upon humans in general. And that's exactly what you're talking about. There's a lot of these people suffering, especially those who are in middle class. Like people in I'm not gonna claim. Yeah, the lower class. They'll be.
Prices are like skyrocketing, and they can't afford to actually buy the supplies because of the low stock.
And the good thing is, these moments like these are a great opportunity for people to come together, to show our humanity. Like I've seen on social media, like on Instagram, on Twitter, so many of these campaigns coming on from people volunteering to buy stuff and buy food, donate these things to people who are in need. And the funny thing is, people, of course, organizations, non-governmental organizations and non-profit organizations like these do exist, but the number of these organizations have significantly increased after this pandemic because there's a reason for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those people are doing this, and it's quite interesting to see how people are uniting and working together.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned was like, all the tech companies getting richer,
Yeah,
because everybody's staying at home. You have everybody online ordering. Zoom, especially, dude. Everybody
Zoom. No one even knew about Zoom before this.
Yeah, and then like Netflix and everybody's watching TV shows, and
yeah.
Get into later on in the podcast, and some music recommendations, etc. But everything's kind of skyrocketing, Amazon, all those people getting richer, it's crazy, it's a good time to get into the tech industry.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, Zoom, for instance, they were actually a paid service before this whole pandemic. Once COVID-19 came, there was a necessity for the market. I mean, this is a niche market we're talking about. Like Zoom, people who are using Zoom are probably people who actually work at home anyway. But nowadays we get since we're all in lockdown, we have to work from home. So companies like Zoom, they have designed their softwares so really well to basically suit the needs for people who are at home and they can't go anywhere. So initially you had to pay for that service, but now for the next 3 months it's actually free. Anyone can use it. But the thing is, this is a great opportunity for them. They're still getting just as much money as they were before when they were offering a price for it. Actually, even more. It's a great opportunity for people. Like, we could start some kind of a streaming business, or I don't know, like
All right, let's get on to the next on the agenda. I think we might have spent too long on that section, but anyways. Cool realizations or facts segment.
It's true. Okay.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Realizations.
Physics ish stuff or
No, really. I mean, I've had time to think.
I told you about this several days ago. No. 2 weeks ago?
Why don't you do us a favor and lead, and we'll see if any ideas pop into my head.
Dead, Adrin, super dead. Anyways, so I can talk about this one where I found from Richard Feynman's BBC documentary.
Okay.
Where I'll probably link this in the description later, but Richard Feynman's one of those great physicists who always focuses on explaining things and making sure that people understand. So one of the things he was talking about was sort of magnets, right? Somebody asked him about magnets and why they push and repel, and he sort of gave some sort of analogy, some stuff. I really can't imitate what he was trying to say and like explain, because it's just too like, you know, from the heart and from the head.
I get it. I get it.
As good as him. Anyways, so he was basically going on about how magnetism is sort of similar to electrostatic stuff, like pluses and minus. You know, positives attract. Opposites attract, and
positives
similars repel, right? So, and then he talks about how the electrons in our hand, you know, like the electrons that repel are similar to the electrons in our hand and whatever object we're touching, right? They repel, and when you touch things, it's actually that repelling that you're actually feeling. So
you're
not actually touching an object, it's just those
it's that
repelling.
No, that is definitely. I mean, there's things that we think about, and there's things that we don't, and this is one of the things that I never thought about. Like, of course, it makes a lot of sense. But when we learn about this in the beginning, we never questioned that. You know what I mean? Like, we knew for a fact that two electrons, since they're negative, they obviously repel. But we never thought about that in terms of like
what the implications.
Yeah, exactly. What does this mean? We knew about this, but we were like, oh, we just have to answer a question on a book. But we never thought about what does this mean.
Also, I think like what Richard Feynman says is very great. He says sort of like we take a lot of things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what physics is helping to learn is sort of like, even though our intuitions seem right, it's not exactly what's going on. So like, for example, if we throw a ball, right? We wouldn't expect it to start from slow and then speed up. We just expect it like, I add force to the ball and it instantly speeds up, right? But it doesn't. It takes some time for it to accelerate, right?
Yeah.
When we started off learning physics, we didn't know about acceleration and difference and all that. We just thought about, it's fast, it's slow, all that.
Yeah.
And we thought it just kept going at that speed and then just stopped, you know, that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, the sad thing is, these kind of things we usually don't realize until we either study more about it in the future, or we just grow older and we realize. For instance, like the whole idea of the structure of the atom. Yeah. We spent how many years in GCSE talking about it, like it was like the electrons are orbiting the nucleus, but as it turns out, that's not even the real the way to visualize it. And
well, I think like what our teacher said was he said that it was a very good way for like chemists to model reactions and stuff, but if we take into account from physics perspective, it all just collapses in on itself. So it's not a very physics oriented.
That was actually a very interesting thing that I never ever thought about, because electrons are negative, right? And the stuff in the middle is positive.
In the nucleus, bro.
In the nucleus, it's positive. So theoretically speaking, when we were taught this in the beginning, I can't believe why I didn't realize, or at least think about what that meant. Because obviously it meant that it would collide. It would have to come together. But that never occurred to me.
Nobody
even. I mean, yeah, it might have gone. That question might have been in people's heads, but no one asked.
Think about, what if a kid heard all this? He'd be like, don't you think it would just like go together? Like, I feel like, you know, school has diminished some of that curiosity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, that's right, you know, it must work.
Yeah.
In reality, if you take a look at everything, like, we don't know anything. Nobody knows anything, you know? We're all just pretending to know stuff.
Definitely, yeah.
In reality, we can't actually see reality.
No, I definitely agree with you with your point, and that is what it is.
That is what it is.
Unfortunately, our system is that's just there's nothing left to say now, because that is, like I said before, it is what it is. And with it,
That's my life.
unfortunately,
You feel that, right?
hey, you didn't trademark it yet. Yeah, I mean, one of my dreams, if you know what I mean, is to like fix the education system. But of course, I don't know how, and I doubt anyone does. Ambition or dreams, I don't know how you want to word it, but because you and I are not the same, and the way that you learn and the way that I learn is definitely not the same. And I know that one of the ways that the system works is to generalize things and to put people on a standardized measuring system.
Yeah, that's
But-
like I was saying, right? It's perfect for if you want to work a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. And is it, like I said, it is what it is. It's the way that we've been living for all this time. 9-to-5 jobs is perfect because you keep this habit going on every day. Just keep doing it again and again. It works. It's fine. But like, think about what we could achieve much more if we were to teach people what they want to learn, or
people
I mean,
actually wanted to learn.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's a difference between learners and just people who sit there and just like mug stuff. Because I know a lot of people in our school, in our classes, that just take information into their head and just memorize it, and then it's gone, of course, but they just recall that whenever they need to write an answer in a test. But none of us really think about it. None of us understand what that means.
I was memorizing. Well, I mean, most of the things I tend to forget, but then physics actually stick with me. So I was like, maybe this is something that I actually want to go into.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What I've noticed is like we haven't really learned to manage one of the most important things, which is time.
Mhm.
Things are learned begrudgingly, so when there is no need for it to be done, it won't be done. So people won't actually learn if they don't need to learn.
I mean, one of the things.
You need to learn. It's just,
Yeah.
there's no like this outside pressure from quote unquote something like school,
Mhm.
and so people just like stay comfortable in this sort of like 9-to-5 or whatever, that
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Yeah. No. You. I mean, it all goes back to how generalized systems are, and
Yes.
and it works. It's standardized. It works. It's been driving our economy. It's been
Works within
driving.
itself, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But, I mean, the thing is, it might be a much more difficult concept to discuss, like the practicality of having a school that focuses, pays the full attention on each individual student, what their capabilities are, what they want to learn, what they're interested in, and then teaching them what, you know what I mean,
I
right?
feel like it should be more about like learning as opposed to like testing a student's ability. Testing should be the job of like people who are looking for, who are looking for employees, right? That's That's your job, to test out the employees, whether they're suitable or not. But I don't think it's the job of the education system to test you whether you're suitable or not.
I mean, that's
Education is supposed to be your opportunity to learn, to branch out, to figure out what you want to do, not to be pressured and to be tested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was actually this really good book that I read on that lightly touches this topic. It's called Shoe Dog. It's about the creator of Nike and how he built his huge company that it is right now. And he talks about how like the education system was, in his words, he said that it's just a machine building workers for the future. And
factories,
yeah, and that exactly, factories. And our jobs as students was to study, and That was a really interesting thing to think about.
Job, dude.
It is a 9 to 5 job. I mean, for us, we go to school at 8 o'clock and we come back at like.
Get paid for it.
Yeah, it's like
To work.
the reward comes a bit later in this deal.
There is a reward.
If some people don't get it, some people do. I mean, it goes back to say, and that's like a lot of universities, not want to say universities, a lot of companies nowadays, including Tesla. Elon Musk has said we don't look at the grades of a person, of an individual. We look at their capabilities. We look at their skills, what they're good at, and I think that's what's important. And like, I don't think a piece of paper that has a grade on it, I don't think that should be able to define or limit your capabilities as an individual, because it doesn't.
I think what's very like underrated, especially these days, is like imagination and sort of creativity, especially what Albert Einstein has been saying over these days. Especially nowadays, I sort of realize like imagination is like you think outside the box and you think of like new solutions, things that have never been done before. You know, those are the pushers, those are the guys in the front lines, those are the guys making innovations. You know, if you act like the normal people, you're gonna be a normal person. You know.
Exactly. And I mean, a lot of things nowadays are making us just exactly how you're describing us. There is a lack of imagination. There's a lack of what is the word? Originality. There's nothing special now. I mean, what main reasons that we've made all these discoveries, the Industrial Revolution, everything that's happened. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that's leading up to now has all been because of someone's imagination, because someone thought outside the box. They said, wait, what if we do this? What if we do that?
Like, we never thought we could ever, fly on planes or drive cars, but somebody was like, we can actually do this.
Yeah. I mean,
the Wright brothers, when people thought they were ridiculous or I don't know, someone else.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Someone else. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's what I think we're trying to convey here is that it's very important, and this is one of the things I like about theory of knowledge that we learn in the IB. Is I have to say this.
Down philosophy,
no,
dude.
I'm not going to disrespect philosophy and
no, I'm
stuff
not
like that.
Disrespecting philosophy. I'm disrespecting TOK on that.
Yeah.
Philosophy grind.
Nah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a great subject or anything, but I will say that the subject makes you think. At least it made me think about some things. Like,
I feel like that because of the stigma and just the way that it's presented, like people don't actually take it seriously. But when you do,
no, that's what I mean.
If you have a background in philosophy, like it's actually really interesting, and you can actually make it through TOK without actually studying any content at all. Which is how I made it through TOK.
I mean, I'll be very honest with you. One of the reasons I was quite interested in TOK in the beginning is one of our classmates. I don't know if I should name them or not, but he was really. I mean, he reads these philosophy very often, and he has a great range of understanding and knowledge on the subject. And so when we discuss something in theory of knowledge, ideas always come out of him. He always he quotes people, he quotes philosophers, he quotes ideas. And I mean, I guess one of the things that the IB encourages through the TOK is to engage in discussions and collaborative work.
I feel like it's basically like, because he's I know who you're talking about, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he's already so ingrained with conversation, philosophy.
Me. Yeah.
About that. But like, it's sort of something that's more natural on the natural side, because you think about these things daily. You're sort of like, blah blah blah, or what's up with this, that. So you don't really have to study any of the TOK content.
Exactly.
It's already there.
To be honest, it was much more effective for me because I'm not a person who used to read a lot of philosophy or like ever thought about stuff. I'm one of those people who just accepted what it is. I never thought about what something could mean. I just accept. I'm just like, okay, so this is a cup. It's a cup. I'm not going to talk about why it's a cup. You know what I mean, right? But like this subject, it really does make us think. And
one ridiculous question I asked like recently to my family. I was like, "Yo, guys, so about this shirt, how many holes does a shirt have? Does it have like 1, 2, 3, or 4? Because there's a hole, like and then
yeah,
what?
sleeves,
And then I was
neck.
like, so how many holes does a straw have? What gang are you part of, huh? How many straws? How many holes does a straw have? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not joining this. I see what you're trying to do, me.
I don't know what kind of I don't know what's the right answer, but if you say two holes, like it could be one hole, it could be two holes, because
I mean, coming to think about it,
straws are like topologically similar. And
yeah. No, but when coming to think about it, it could be both, Kev.
Yeah, if a donut has one hole and you say a straw has one hole, then great. But if you say a straw has two holes, then does a donut have two holes?
No, but that's the thing. We never would have thought of this. Like, it's not something that you just go and ask. And I think that's something that we are lacking nowadays. It's just we're lacking people who ask. And then, after asking, asking is one of the steps. After asking, thinking, and then acting on that question. That's what we need now. We don't need thinkers. We don't need ideas. We need doers. No. I mean, we do. But what I meant was, we don't want people who only think. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want people who just think in their rooms, because how would I know if they're thinking about something?
Come on, that's me.
No, Kev, you know what I mean, right? I mean, like, we need people who think and do at the same time. Because if you're thinking to yourself, how would the rest of the world know what you're thinking? You might have come up, like, within you might have the solution to, I don't know.
Cancer.
Yeah, dude, we never know. But if you keep thinking to yourself, we would never know, and that's what I mean. It was another book that I read that was talking about this.
Bro,
is
you gotta chill out with the book recommendations, dude. We're not even in that.
Yeah, I didn't name the books yet. I named one book.
Nah, bro.
Okay, I'll save this for that. I'll save this for that part. Yeah, you guys don't have to tune in for that part. Yeah.
Dead. Okay. Anyways, what's your cool realization, huh? You've been holding that off for like a million years.
That's going back to the previous.
No, fam, you got it now, yeah. Come on.
Cool realization.
Anything. They just pull something out of you. Come on.
Yeah, I guess the realization that I've had is something that everyone will have eventually in life. It's just that nothing is eternal. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
that's kind of true.
Like, I've gotten used. The past 12 years, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I put on my clothes. No. Listen, think about it. I put on my clothes, I go downstairs, I eat my breakfast, I say bye to my mom, I get into my car, go to school, come home. Tomorrow, I wake up, I brush my teeth. It's been a thing that I've been doing every single day. Every single day, Kevin. You too. Everyone else that I know, everyone we know right now has been doing that. And to think that
people aren't here forever kind of vibe.
I mean,
sad time.
It's inevitable, because if not now, you're gonna have to face it ever. No, but that's the truth. I mean, that's the realization, is that no matter how much you want to grasp onto something, you never understand its true value until it's gone.
That's true, man. Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, you only understand how valuable something is once it's out of your hands.
I didn't mean like sad kind of stuff, I meant like cool, like stuff, dude.
I mean, this is big brain, bro. I mean,
nah, you gotta bring the other one on, man. Come on. What's the other one? Come on, we've done so many. Come on, you can just pull one straight out of your head.
I don't know, bro. I guess. I gotta go back to physics and talk about my man Schrodinger. Such an interesting.
No, dude, you gotta make it easy to understand for them.
Okay, so I. Yeah, no. Well, even look, no one understands quantum physics. Okay, even you.
You gotta talk about something that everybody can knows about like touching. I just talked about that. Come on.
Yeah,
dude.
you talked about touching, I guess. It's pretty hard to think about because like I said, I'm not one of those people who like would just ask questions about something that I've never thought about. You know what I mean?
Move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
You gotta improve this segment, hey?
Yeah. We'll improve this segment next time we get here.
God, that was kind of trash on your end, no? I'm joking. Anyways, which one do you want to start first in terms of the entertainment segment now?
Well, I guess we're gonna have to start with the songs because we've been holding that off for a while.
Maybe I should do it first so that you know what I'm.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Maybe I get a basis.
So, the first one you're talking about, I'm not gonna say the name. It's just it's the ending from Iron-Blooded Orphans, which I will link below. It's a Gundam anime, Iron-Blooded Orphans. It's a very interesting series. It's about a bunch of teenagers. It's like every single anime is about a bunch of teenagers. But anyways, so the reason why I really like this song is because you know it has that like old soul sort of jazz vibe.
Yeah.
Has like that old soul like.
I can feel the vibe. You know, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And then it has those like chord changes, yeah, and it hits you really hard because it gives you like this sort of like bittersweet feeling, like yeah we won, but damn but at what cost? Everything. That kind of vibe, like the bittersweet victory, and it sort of like fits really well with the anime. Well, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but like big feels, but when it hits, it just hits because of the vibe. Well, what do you think about it? Just give your opinions, bro. What do you think? Is it good, bad, or?
No, it's definitely a good song. It gave me those vibes of like, I mean, I usually listen to your music. You put me on some music, but this is something that I really like because it gets you really hyped. You know what I mean? Like it's a different emotion. It's something that obviously can't be described. But
it's like sort of like a reflective sort of tone, like you're looking back.
Yeah.
Like also looking forward.
I've never watched the anime Gundam, but I probably should. But I mean, even without watching, I can tell that there's a sense of like there's so much that's going on, and like you said, reflection is something that we should just close our eyes, listen to, and we can like just go through all our emotions, all our thoughts about the day, and just just think about it.
I mean, like it's just like the sort of vibe is like you're looking back at sort of all the things or all the struggles that you've had, but then you're also, or like all the sad things that you've experienced, but you're also looking towards the future. Like it's sort of that kind of vibe,
I made a mistake. I shouldn't have given you one of the songs I did. There's a better song that I should have given you.
All right. Or do you want to keep it to one song for you? I don't know. That's on you, dude.
Damn it! Is it too late for me to change now?
Yeah, it is.
Damn it! I didn't think about it that hard. Okay, continue.
We can just talk about one, and then we can do three next one.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, all right. The next song is Chrono Trigger Corridors of Time. So this is from like, what is it, like 1990 something?
It's a really old game.
It's old. So what I'm impressed is really like this sort of sound quality from like, even though like it's 8-bit, I usually don't like 8-bit songs, but this one just like it hits you. Like it has this sort of like Oasis kind of vibe, like you're sort of like traveling and all that, and it gives you like
definitely
sort of adventurous feel. And even with the left and right, kind of audio switch, which you'll hear when you listen to the track, but it's really good. It's ridiculous. The whole soundtrack for this game is crazy. Even when I'm playing it, like
I've played this game once a really long time ago when my cousins had it, and the music, I have to say, you're incredibly right. The music is one of the things that drive these 8-bit games in general. And this one, just the repetition of that, I'm not really sure what that instrument is, but it's like the bells. Yeah. It's such a simple thing that's being repeated again and again, but it creates such an impact. Like it creates this atmosphere.
Unique sound.
Yeah.
I and it fits with the sort of the name, you know, Corridors of Time. It gives you like this feeling of like, I don't know what it is. It's like the time kind of, you know, feeling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It creates this atmosphere, and if you play the game, you'll definitely know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
you said the characters were similar. You've seen this character.
I've this probably.
That's not exactly accurate because I think the artists for these guys are the same as the
Dragon Ball Z. That's where the Dragon Ball. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. It's pretty much the same. So yeah, so you guys can go check out these.
Yeah, please make sure to check that out. Great stuff.
You can talk about yours now, or whichever.
Yeah, so I'll there's one with the only one that's a music video from that. It was an interesting thing because like the main reason I liked that song was.
I mean, you gotta say the name.
Do you want me to say the name? Yeah. Okay, so it's Stole the Show by Kygo. Kygo is like this he's a musician, obviously he's an artist, but he likes to do remixes, or he mixes original videos, music videos, and this is one of them. It's a really good song, Stole the Show. And one of the reasons I love this song was because I could relate to it. A few years ago, this was in 2015 if I'm not wrong, and like I don't want to get to like too sad or personal here, but I used to get bullied a lot. And I don't know why, but I used to get bullied a lot. And I remember there was this one time, because I'm Indian, right? So it was one time I wanted to play cricket with this guy. And I asked him, oh, can I play cricket with you? And he said, no, you're Indian. Like, I was confused. I was like, oh, okay. But now that I think about it, I was actually pretty mean. But that's not what I mean by I was bullied.
Dude, that was jokes,
yeah,
man.
but that's not what I meant by I was bullied. I was really bullied, and the implications of this video, if you truly watch it, there's a lot of perspectives you could look at this from, and it's just the music is just like so it's so enthralling. It lifts you, and it makes you feel like it gives you this confidence level that I love having now. Like it's just this the video just goes on to this showing this outsider from space. He comes into this house party and there's so many different people there, but he still feels like an outsider, and he tries to find someone who he could relate with. You know what I mean?
Damn, bro.
And,
I didn't think of that. Like that,
and
you know?
yeah, no, it is. It's very deep, and it's one of the reasons why I connected with the song a lot, because it's because you don't think about that.
The video or the song?
Both. I think because no, obviously we're looking at the song on its own, but I mean, actually at first I didn't watch the music video. I listened to the song first. It was just a lyric. It was just a lyric video, and I really did like the song. And I was like, wait, I'm getting some nice vibes from this. And then I went and watched the video, and I was like, damn. So that's what it meant. You know what I mean?
If I have to be honest, like, I sort of like the instrumentation at the middle, but
yeah,
it's I don't think it's sort of my kind of vibe as a song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know.
Feel to me, and I don't really enjoy those kind of things. But like, I enjoy more of like the old soul jazz, you know, kind of.
Definitely, yeah.
Japanese songs especially. But it's an okay song. I wouldn't mind listening to it. It's not like something outrageous or extremely repetitive. You know, it's not bad. Alright, on to the next segment, yeah?
Alright, let's go.
What's next? What do you think?
Well, what else do we have? We
TV shows or anime?
TV shows, surely. Anime, fine.
Alright, so we all know you guys are hungry for content to consume during the quarantine, so we're gonna we're gonna be the plug. So we can I'm gonna talk about genres. So one genre especially from anime is like sort of romance. I really like romance because especially this sort of like feeling you get. I don't know what to call it. It's just like squeeze feeling. It's like a nice feeling.
Squeeze feeling.
Like, yeah, it's just like your chest is being squeezed. I don't know what to call it. It's like
I get it.
It would feel nice, like kind of romance feeling, you know. So, but that's not what I'm gonna be talking about today. I'm not gonna be talking about no.
Save the good stuff for the.
I'm gonna be talking about our favorite cartoon show, or well, not necessarily a cartoon, it's animated, but it's one of the deeper, sort of like darker cartoon movie series. It's called Acceleracers. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. It's about these dudes who go out racing against drones and going into racing realms and stuff, you know, as car enthusiasts, you know, we like those kind of things, and it's really cool. You know, I've collected all the merchandise, everything. It's a really good show. You should check it out.
I completely agree with him. I actually didn't really know about Acceleracers until a few years back. I was introduced by Kevin and a few of my friends. I absolutely love that. It was like a movie series. Unfortunately, it wasn't finished because of some complications.
Yeah,
but they made a huge mistake. Like, I can think of so many shows that made a mistake by canceling them. But this was one of those shows. Like even as an adult, you could go and watch it, and you'd feel that vibe. You know what I mean? Like,
because the content is a bit like darker, so it's skewed towards it.
Yeah, and don't think that it's a cartoon, it's for children. It's not, because like I feel like I love this kind of shows.
It's touching upon like deeper themes, like betrayal, you know, rivalry, or like sort of banding together, and this sort of like, you know, community.
And if you're not one of those storyline based people, the art used in this show is very, very unique, and it's honestly very spectacular in the way that they've designed it. Like, it's a 3D kind of
look really cool. Yeah,
they do. Go on. So
I don't know. Usually I don't like 3D shows, but this is one of those shows like I don't mind. Like, especially with the cars and the graphics, like they look really cool. The cars especially, and the realms, man. Like, they look so real.
Yeah. And one of the best parts of the series are the new different realms that you go into. But another reason you should watch this is the music. Like, we can't get enough of the music. Yeah, like we literally have a playlist full of these Accelerator songs.
It's so sad that you know they didn't actually release the
official soundtrack. Yeah,
because they didn't actually finish the series. You know, it's so sad.
It might be a great reason for you to watch it, because like, even if I think it's one of the most underrated shows of all time. Like, I honestly have never heard of Acceleracers, but I guess a lot of the good shows you see are usually underrated.
Not have ever heard, you know.
Used to.
So it's just one of those things like you should go check out. Like, definitely, you know, if I was a billionaire, this was like one of the shows that I'd pay the dudes to remake, you know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He'd be the producer.
What's your recommendation? We'll have like 2 each.
Anime, cartoon.
No, not anime. Whatever you want. I don't.
Whatever. Okay. No, because you went around to a cartoon. So we can go on a TV/movie section.
Whatever you want, bro.
Yeah. So I think Kevin and I were really fond of this. The Mentalist. It's a great TV show. If you haven't watched The Mentalist, I suggest you go and watch it right now. It's almost on all streaming platforms. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. I'm sure it's on HBO, Amazon Prime Video. Just go on and go watch it, because I'm telling you, I can't really... Well, I think I could explain to you what it is about, but the name itself, the title itself, kind of tells you The Mentalist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's pretty long. I think, well, compared to anime, like the episodes of pretty much most TV shows these days are like pretty long. Like,
around 42 minutes to
crazy
long.
For someone like me, you know, who usually watches anime. But it's really good. Like, they find a way to keep it entertaining all the time. And yeah, they have like this episodic content where like they catch a villain each time, and then the overarching story also progresses, sort of. And,
it's not like one of those like most shows have those few episodes that are just filler episodes where they put some random out of the story episodes. No, every episode is very important to the, you know, to the whole story that's being built up.
Yeah. So basically, it's this guy who well, I'm not gonna go into the whole backstory, but essentially he's what you call mentalist. So he's able to like trick people or sort of lead people, sort of, like, I don't know. He's just like really smart, and I think I really like a lot of TV shows or anime where the main character is like really smart, and I love seeing their plans sort of unfold. That's my favorite part about this show.
Yeah, and the thing a lot of shows fail to do is, like Kevin said, is display that train of thought, the way that these characters think and do things. And this show has done that very well in terms of screenplay and how they've directed those episodes. It's very clear. It's very easy to follow. Anyone, literally people with IQ of 2, could watch the show and be like, no, they would be able to watch the show and be like, oh, this is amazing.
Speaking of genius people, I'm gonna talk about another series. It's anime as well. It's called One Outs.
Mm-hmm. So I figured you'd say that. Yeah, I figured.
Of course, man. You got this super genius pitcher who basically makes the strategies for the entire team. Well, he doesn't cheat. He could cheat. He's smart enough to do that, but he basically like devises the strategy and he keeps winning, and basically nobody's able to hit pitches against him, and it's ridiculous. I just watch this and I'm like, no, it's none of that like Super Saiyan like Inazuma 11 type stuff. I mean,
yeah. No defying laws of physics.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like this guy with his strategies, man. Just another good, anime where the genius guy pulls it out. What do you think about it?
No, I again is one of those shows that I never would have watched if it wasn't for you, if someone didn't recommend it to me. I watched one episode and I was literally really, really into it. Like I had to stop watching in the middle because I was like watching it all the time. And then Kevin, of course, kept reminding me, finish it off, and I was like, yes, I will. I ended up finishing it off over a holiday. It was a really good show, and I really don't know what to say because you basically talked everything about it. It's the only thing that I'm sorry. Yeah,
you go.
No, I was saying the only thing that I really appreciated and really valued from that show was like it's not easy to portray a really smart character without having smart writers, because like you have to think about the ways that you could defend a pitch, or you could react to a throw. You know what I mean, right? Like it takes amount of experience and amount of like skill set.
I never actually liked baseball until I watched this anime.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really interesting.
I mean, even if you don't like baseball, it would still be a great show to watch because you wouldn't have to know anything about baseball because that's how well the show has been taken, and that's how it's.
Yeah, that's how well they wrote the show.
Yeah, and
I feel like this is one of those shows like they made a mistake in like not finishing it,
Yeah. I mean, again, most of the shows that we're talking about, well, except the Mentalist, I guess, are discontinued shows that definitely deserved the the continuation.
Has some nice romance in it. No spoiler, but like, yeah, I really like that aspect of it as well. Like,
it was good.
That gives plus points in my books,
Yeah, surely.
What's your final recommendation?
Final recommendation. I don't know if you've watched it, but Dexter is a really, really good show. My parents watched a long time ago because, of course, they were old enough. I was just a kid then. But after last year, I came back home from the U.S. over the plane trip back here. It was like an 18-hour journey. I saw Dexter there, and I was like, you know what? Why not give it a try? I watched one episode. I didn't even sleep that entire 18 hours. I finished the first season on that airplane. Because that's how good that show was. I'm not going to disclose about a lot of stuff, but he basically kills people, okay? He's a forensic scientist, but at the same time, he's a So he's a forensic scientist, but he still does a lot of killing in the background. That's all I'm going to say.
He kills people.
It's really good. Because, like, you never... Again, it's one of those shows where you have to be really... He's really, really smart, this guy. He's really smart. He's not like a people person, but he's one of those like introverted people who does their own thing and has this really, really powerful backstory that only gradually increases over the time of the show. Like as the show progresses, gradually revealed. You know what I mean, right? It's like the Mentalist in some way, where his backstory is slowly being revealed as the show progresses. Dexter. I would definitely recommend you to watch it. It's on Netflix. But yeah, if you have time, go watch it. I wouldn't recommend it with family members, especially children. But it's definitely a good show to watch if you're like you and your significant other, or if you're just alone like us. Then yeah, just just watch it.
Alone vibes. Come on, dude. You don't have to bring that up.
Yeah. No, but yeah. In all seriousness, it's a great show. It's a great show.
To the next segment now. Yeah. That's enough. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The final segment. Oh, not the final segment. Book recommendations. Only one this time. So
All right.
what I'm gonna talk about is Seneca on the Shortness of Life. I think this is even though I've sort of become complacent with the principles they teach, but this was one of the books that changed my life, like early on, like sort of I don't know, like around 2 years ago. Yeah, it's a pretty good book. It talks about like how people waste their lives essentially, and why life is so short. You know, talks about those kind of things, and made me realize, you know, like how important it is. You know, just like why are we caring so much about the things that don't actually matter, and you know, wasting our time. Why?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like, be yourself and like express yourself. You know, find out what you want to do. Stop like, you know, limiting yourself because it's the only sort of time you have. You know, time spent not being yourself is time wasted.
Yes. I completely agree with you. I haven't read the book yet, but it isn't one of my to read books. And the thing about me is I'm one of those guys who love to read like a physical copy. I don't like to read them online. So with the situation right now, I don't think I can buy a copy. But I've heard a lot about it. A lot of people recommended me that book. And Hal definitely
be a guest in one of our future.
He will be
podcasts.
Definitely. And which leads me to my book. Actually, is quite similar to yours. It's Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Bro,
it's
I've asked you to order that.
Okay, look.
You're like,
No. I did order for you, but when they delivered that book was in not a good shape to read. Like, pages were ripped off because of the wetness. I don't know what the hell that delivery man did. Anyway, I bought it in India. It was on discount, and
you didn't buy one for me. Thanks.
I asked you. I don't think you responded in time for me to purchase it. I did. You could check. I will.
No.
I will send you a screenshot. Let's finish. Let's talk about this later, okay?
Send it. I'm waiting.
I'm
waiting.
Oh my god. I will send it to you. Don't worry.
Yeah, talk about the book right now.
Yeah, so the book, again, is one of those books that, like Kevin said, makes you think about life differently. And I'm one of those people who used to read those nonfiction books all the time. Like, I used to read Geronimo Stilton and, like, those kind of books. Sorry, fiction, that's what I meant. I'm thinking about something. Fiction books. But recently, I've been quite interested in these nonfiction books. And it's just, there's so much knowledge being passed down by these people, these authors, and it's a lot of wisdom, I would say, a lot of experience that is being like just placed onto a piece of paper, which a lot of people are undervaluing right now. A lot of people don't read books anymore. The book itself, I mean, there's nothing much to say. Man's Search for Me, I can't really talk so much about it because it might just ruin the whole appeal. But
I mean, just talk about a little bit of, come on. I
mean, it just talks about him. I mean, he's an individual that was, of course, in like most authors, it was a part of the World War, and he talks about
most authors, but anyways,
and he really talks about his experiences and how those experiences have led him to write about this, his opinion, his perspective of what life was, and how he went on searching for the meaning of life after the fact of the war, and what he started to do after, and what those experiences of him being a part of the war and after, and how that gradually changed. That he discusses that in such a nice, great manner that like it makes you think about it. It makes you feel like you were there with him. It's like having a conversation with Frankl, and I think it gives a great perspective in life, because most people are like are very single-minded and single-sided. They only think about what they want to think and see. But I feel like reading these kind of books,
not single-sided.
yeah, closed-minded. Sorry, that's what I meant to see. They only think and see what they want to see and think. But I mean, when you start reading books like these, you really do see, like, you realize and look at things in other perspectives, which I think is very important. And I started seeing the lives of other people in very different ways. Like, I started to respect my elders, those who I knew have been through a lot during these times. I start to see how they feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
I think you what you're referring to is sort of like people don't necessarily think about meaning a lot. You know, all of these like nuanced sort of niche things.
yeah,
People don't tend to think about them a lot, just because it takes effort or it's something that's out of their comfort zone, you know. So when you read these books, it's like, wow, it's a really good, like, refreshing experience. It's out of world experience, you know, because you start learning these things and having new perspectives, and you realize like how crazy everything is, you know, and how absurd this world is, that we don't actually have a purpose, and it's sort of our job to find that purpose. It's up to us to decide it, because there isn't one set purpose, you know.
yeah. No, that's completely true. I mean, that's one of the things books do. I mean, again, if I was to read this book again, like in a few years' time, I might have a different way of looking at it. You know what I mean? Your past experiences definitely play a part when you're reading books like these, because these are, like, I wouldn't say autobiographical, but like there are those books where the authors talk about themselves usually, and then what their thoughts then derived into what they think after evaluating their personal experiences, and they usually talk about it in a really deep manner, which then forces you to think about it in their perspective. But sometimes you could step back and you could look at it and you'd be like, wow, I never really thought about it. Yeah. And you're, what does this mean to me? So you put yourselves in that situation, and it'll have a much more significant impact on you because you can relate yourself with it. And I think that's what this book does very effectively. It makes you think about it. It makes you critically think about it, which a lot of books don't do. This one does very well. So that's one of the reasons why I'll recommend Viktor E. Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Okay, now video games. That's in the final section, I believe.
Yeah.
So I would say what we've been playing.
Minecraft.
Very nostalgic game. There's a lot to do in Minecraft, actually, especially the survival world. But I think we just sped through it a lot because, you know, we're like ordinary regular gamers, you know. So we spend a lot of time on that kind of thing, and I just think that we didn't space it out enough. So we sort of got like finished everything, the entire survival thing in a whole week. But yeah, so there's like multiplayer servers, everything. But I think the greatest part is like just like playing with your friends and enjoying the game in general, you know, exploring a lot.
Yeah.
Doing raids together, everything. Yeah, that's just the best part. How about you? Any good recommendations?
Video games. I have to say, recently I know you have a Switch, but I don't think you bought this game, Animal Crossing. New Horizons. As a child, I used to play on my Nintendo DS, Animal Crossing's Wild Worlds,
I remember,
New Leaf.
You know, I used to be so scared of that guy who got angry when you didn't save that I stopped playing the game.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But the interesting thing about why I really liked the game was because I had this thing called I don't know what it's exactly called, but it was like a 3D ROM thing where I have this chip, and it has like 40-50 games already installed on it.
Whoa! I don't know what.
And so
that's
like
that's a bit sus.
a bit illegal, but
No. I think what you mean is like you bought the Animal Crossing game from the store.
Yes. That's definitely what I meant. Yes.
The game cartridge, you know. There's no you can't have multiple games.
That's true. That's not possible. That's not possible at all.
Yeah. Or
basically,
online from the
yeah. And when I did buy it, the game mistakenly gave me hacks, so I was able to manipulate and give myself.
I don't know what you're talking. I think you gotta relax here, Adrin.
Sorry. What I meant to say before I was hardwired by some random force.
Don't you think there was a glitch that allowed you to?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. Sorry, sometimes when it's past 10 o'clock, I get to say things that there's a glitch in the game that basically gave me like a lot of money and stuff. So I basically bought a lot of stuff in the game, and I really liked spending time. It was nice.
I feel like even with all the glitch money you earned, you still couldn't pay off Tom Nook.
I couldn't pay his loan. It's unfortunate. That guy, look, he's sus. Okay, he's really sus. And when I came to know that a few years ago that this game would get released, I was really I was like so excited because I haven't played an Animal Crossing game in so long.
Should have got it because
yeah. But I got it recently, and I mean it's a great time for me to play because we're in quarantine. I got no more work to do, and surprisingly enough, Animal Crossing is one of the top rated games right now for the Nintendo Switch because of the quarantine thing. It's like you have your own island and you do your own stuff. You make your houses, you get around. It's pretty cool, and I think if you guys have never heard of Animal Crossing, or if you have a Nintendo Switch and you're looking for games to play, I definitely recommend Animal Crossing. It's a great way to escape reality, and just
escapism to the max.
Yeah, I mean, you have all the time in your life right now, so just do what you want to do, and I think Animal Crossing is a great start. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna be the end for now. I don't know. Do you have any final comments before we end this thing?
No, I mean, I've never done a podcast, of course. I mean, you and I have conversations often, probably not as long as this, but it was worthwhile, and I think, like I said before about perspectives, I've definitely gained a new perspective of thinking and talking. So I don't know how many people are gonna watch this or how many people are gonna listen to this, but this was genuine of us, and it's just something that we felt like we wanted to do. Because it was, we were dedicated to this, and so your support would definitely be appreciated. And I guess until next communion.
Communion, come on, dude, what are you doing?
Until next communion, it's like a greet,
I think those were sort of the closing words. We're gonna be. I had a lot more to say, honestly, and things more things to discuss, but I guess that'll be for another podcast. We'll be inviting guests more frequently, I suppose, from now on. This is more of like a preliminary sort of episode where it's just the two of us, the hosts, talking to each other. But we'll have guests, coming in. We'll have Hal. I think we might have that other classmate dude. Just look forward to more podcast episodes and more content. If you have any suggestions, you can put it down in the comments, and make sure to check out all of us. Check out me, check out Adrin on our YouTubes and stuff, and make sure to also check out all the things that we discussed today. The music, the TV shows, the games, and the books. We've got a lot of time, so you can check out that content, and we'll be providing more content on the way, and more news. So
yeah, definitely.
That's gonna be the end of today's podcast. You guys can check us out in the next few episodes or so, or something like that, if we decide to do more. All right, cool.
All right, great stuff. Thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing day. Stay safe, stay at home, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.